There was a time when the bathroom held more than hygiene. It held inheritance. In the homes of black families across America, from the 1950s through the 1980s, that small tiled room functioned as laboratory, sanctuary, and silent classroom. It was where mothers passed down knowledge that had no textbook, where fathers shaped their sons' understanding of presentation and pride, where daughters learned that beauty was both armor and art. The morning light filtering through frosted glass would catch the rim of a pomade jar. Murray's, most likely, its orange lid slightly crusted at the threads from years of careful twisting. Beside it, a tin of Dixie peach sat with the kind of permanence reserved for objects that had earned their place. These weren't products purchased on impulse. They were investments, chosen with the discernment of people who understood that how you presented yourself to a world that didn't always see you clearly was a form of resistance. The hot comb resting on the porcelain sink carried its own history in the slight discoloration of its teeth. It had been heated over stovetop flames, tested against wax paper with a sizzle, then pulled through thick sections of hair with a technique that looked like danger but was actually devotion. The smell, petroleum, singed hair, bergamot, became a sense memory that would surface decades later in the most unexpected moments, transporting grown children back to Sunday mornings and kitchen chairs dragged into tight spaces. On the shelf above, milk glass containers held cotton balls and bobby pins in perfect arrangement. This wasn't mere organization. It was dignity made visible. In an era when black families were fighting for basic recognition of their humanity in schools, at lunch counters, in voting booths, the bathroom became a space where order could be controlled absolutely. Every item had its place. Every surface gleamed. The message was clear. We are not what they say we are. By the 1970s, new objects joined the constellation. The afro pick with its raised black power fist wasn't just a grooming tool. It was a declaration. It sat beside the straightening comb without irony, because black beauty had always contained multitudes. The same mother who once pressed her daughter's hair for church photos now watched that same daughter pick out a halo of natural curls, and both styles carried meaning. Both required skill. Both were beautiful. Men kept their rituals too. The straight razor, stropped with meditative repetition. The jar of Tres Flores brilliantine that made processed hair gleam like patent leather. The discipline of the Saturday night bath that became Sunday morning readiness. Because showing up mattered. Looking sharp mattered. Being undeniable mattered. These bathrooms were small theaters of transformation, where field workers became church deacons, where domestic workers became the most elegant women in the congregation, where children learned that self-care was not vanity, but survival strategy. The mirror reflected back not just faces, but futures being carefully constructed. What made these objects valuable wasn't scarcity. It was saturation. They were everywhere, in every black household, performing the same rituals. A hot comb in Birmingham worked the same magic as one in Detroit. Murray's in Oakland held hair the same way it did in Atlanta. This ubiquity created a silent national network of shared practice, a common visual language that said, I know where you come from. I know what Sunday morning smells like in your house too. Now those same items appear in antique stores with price tags that would astonish the women who bought them for pocket change. Collectors seek them out, preserve them in display cases, recognize them as cultural artifacts. The afro pick sells for $40. The vintage pomade tin, unopened, commands even more. We have labeled them collectible, which is another way of saying we finally see what was always there. But the true value was never in the resale. It was in the 10-year-old girl watching her grandmother's hands move with absolute certainty, learning that care has choreography. It was in the father showing his son how to line up a haircut in the mirror, passing down geometry and self-respect in the same lesson. It was in the knowledge that beauty for black folks was never frivolous. It was proof of life, evidence of thriving, a refusal to be diminished. The bathroom light still falls the same way through frosted glass. But the objects it illuminates now are different, sleeker, marketed with algorithms, promising convenience over ritual. We have gained efficiency. But what we kept in those cabinets wasn't just product, it was process. It was connection. It was the understanding that how we tended ourselves was how we loved ourselves, in a world that often suggested we shouldn't. Those small rooms held everything that mattered. Memory in glass jars, identity in metal teeth, resistance in routine. They still do, if we know how to look.